welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, Surviving and Thriving. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the show, and good morning to you. Good morning to our live viewing audience here on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are taking in your podcast. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, and super pumped to be here. I do want to give a shout out to my Port Jervis senior class of 2025. We here in New York graduated last night. I know around the country, you guys are finishing in May and mid-May. Well, we just graduated. It was a wonderful ceremony. Shout out to the Port Jervis community. Shout out to the high school administration, our grounds department, all those involved, our superintendent, and all those that had a hand in that ceremony there. Also, we had a guest speaker. We invited back the class president of 1968, Dr. Ralph Morgan. Dr. Morgan, well, Ralph back then, organized the first senior skip day when seniors would skip class and go down the river and hang out and not go to school. Well, he organized the first one with his classmates. Excuse me. And he got in trouble. They held him responsible, and they didn't let him speak at graduation. They pulled the opportunity to speak at graduation. Well, long story short, the guy is a Vietnam veteran hero. He's a Green Beret. He's a hero. He gets into our Hall of Fame, and they tell the story about how another Port Jervis graduate saved his life in Vietnam, and the two of them came together around the world from Port Jervis, New York. And Dr. Ralph Morgan was our speaker last night, and man, it was a home run. So I wanted to give a shout out to Port Jervis schools and all they are and who we represent, and proud to be part of the team there in Port Jervis. So a quick word from IXL. They're our sponsor for the podcast. We just wrapped up the school year. You want to see what happened. You want to see the growth. You want to see the data. IXL is a great tool to do that.
I'd like to thank IXL for sponsoring today's podcast. Over 1 million teachers use IXL in their classroom every day. IXL is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It empowers schools with complete curriculum, thousands of instructional resources, robust reporting, assessment data, and more. It saves teachers a lot of valuable time with ready-made plans aligned to the standards and the textbooks. Built-in engagement tools like custom competitions make learning fun for students. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform, so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your students towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, appreciate IXL sponsoring today's podcast.
All right, friends. Good morning. Happy Saturday to you. Grab your coffee and thanks for joining us. A quick opening segment. It is Saturday, June 28th, officially the kickoff of summer here in the Northeast. And I'm going to challenge you. Here's my challenge coin. You got surviving and thriving on one side, and a wave doesn't crash where it starts on the other. What is that book? What is that project? What is that thing that you want to do? Well, it's the first day of summer here, right? School just ended yesterday. What is that thing? So I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to shake your hand here to get going on it. Put it in your calendar. Start that item today. Start that project today. Start that running today. Start that weight loss today. Life is short, right? And surviving and thriving is real. I challenge you to get going, to continue to grow and continue to learn on your journey. And if I can help you, if Dr. Chad Dumas can help you, please reach out. Chad is going to join us here. And Chad is a PLC expert. Chad is an educational leader. And he's also a second-time new author. Here's his book. And he's coming to us live from Iowa. Dr. Dumas, welcome to Education, Leadership, and Beyond, my friend.
Good morning, sir. It's a blessing to be back with you.
Yeah, second time here. I mean, the guy's writing so many books. I can't get him on the podcast enough to keep up with it, you know? Good to see you, my friend.
Oh man, it is really great to see you.
Yeah, and I want to give Chad a shout out. He's a busy educator. He is presenting, he's traveling. And Chad, you were so flexible to move the podcast. I got busy with graduation, and you were so gracious and flexible to move it. So here he is, bright and early from Iowa, joining us. So good morning.
Good morning. No worries. A friend of mine, he would say that, there's the Beatitudes in the Bible about, blessed are the meek, blessed are the poor, right? And he says that, one of them inadvertently got left off when they translated, and it's blessed are the flexible, for they shall not be bent out of shape.
Guys got jokes. I love it. All right, Chad, let's get to serious business. It's Saturday morning here. I'm a coffee snob. I got my Oregon travel mug here. What type of coffee do you brew it yourself? Are you mixing stuff up? Or you got the steamer? What's happening in the Dumas home with coffee early on a Saturday morning?
So I'm a weirdo. I really don't even like the smell of coffee. So I don't drink coffee. I had
No
coffee
coffee?
once. I've had coffee once. It was Turkish coffee. It gave me the worst headache of my life because it's that
Going
strong.
Yeah.
But I was with some folks somebody claimed they could read the coffee grounds, like tell your future by looking at the coffee grounds after you drank it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is fun. Why not? I mean, it was really, if you need to wake me up, holy cow. But yeah, I've got myself good old fashioned H2O.
You just go straight water in the morning.
Straight water.
Orange juice, tea, something?
No, tea, for some reason, it like upsets my tummy. So yeah, it's straight up water until lunch. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for you, man. I see. You learn something new every day. To our live viewing audience, this is Dr. Chad Dumas, a Solution Tree presenter, an author, and a great collaborator and an instructor of people, a former lifelong educator, and doing great work. Chad, I know you presented this week. I know you present a lot. Your last presentation, get one thing that was a home run. You walked out of there going, yes. And what was one thing saying, man, I screwed that up? Give me one and one.
Yeah. Well, the home run this was 4 days of training.
Wow. So you were in the same place for 4 days.
Same place, same people, 4 days. And so needless to say, I went into some trepidation because that's, you go to a conference for 2.5 days and people leave tired, right? And they're going to different sessions and breakouts throughout those. This was me, no breakouts, 4 days.
Wow.
And I think the home run, I haven't gotten the formal evaluation, but every day I did little check-ins with sticky notes and, plus deltas, what's working, what's not. And on those, as well as, informal conversations, people said, came into this with a little trepidation, but this has gone really fast and it's been really good. So when people tell you at the end of 4 days that they're really glad they were there and it went fast, that's, in my book, that's a home run.
And a foul tip or something that you feel maybe didn't go so well?
A foul tip was one of the things I do when I'm doing multiple days presentations is I share with people the strategies that I'm using. Like I pull back the curtain of facilitation and just like say, okay, so these are the strategies I'm using. These are the intentional moves, many of which are in the book that you held up a second ago, right? These are intentional moves and techniques that are subtle, nonverbal communication skills. So I shared those with them, which they really appreciated. But then once you tell people how you're getting their attention in ways that they don't even realize, then they don't come back with those same moves.
Wait a minute, he's gonna reel me in again without me even knowing.
Yeah, exactly. So things like the one that like really caught their attention was it's a technique called I interrupt myself. And it comes from Kendall Zoller. And so when you are in a group of people and you don't have everybody's attention, whether it's a small group of 3 or 4 or 5 people or a group of 500 people, you simply interrupt yourself. So you might say something like, so one of the things I've been thinking about, right? Same words, but you just interrupt yourself mid-sentence, and then you pause, break eye contact at a lower intensity, then you have amnesia and start over. So one of the things I was thinking about And so that's one way to get people's attention without saying, hey, I need everybody's attention. Or why is everybody not paying attention? Here, everybody look here. It's one way to get their attention without them even realizing that you're getting their attention. So when I shared some of these moves and techniques, then they didn't work as well, because then they were like, oh, okay, he's trying to get our attention now. So, which that I should say, it could have been one of two things. One is they knew the techniques now, so it wasn't as effective. The other is they were so engaged. I mean, it was just incredible, the level of engagement and focus from these incredible leaders it's West Dallas, West Milwaukee is where I was. It was just really incredible. So anyway.
Awesome. Well, congratulations there. 4 days presenting. That's tiring, but it's engaging. And Chad, I know he knows he does this, but also leads with humor. And really, Chad, I heard a leader tell me, talk, smile when you talk. And you do that. I've met Chad a number of times. I haven't met him in person yet. We're going to break bread. But you do. You're warm, you're inviting, you're friendly, and so you do that. So congratulations on your last event.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And we could say this. So I think people would say the exact same thing about you. And I do have to say, I'd rather break ribs than break bread, if that's okay.
keep the carbs down low. Well, I want to offer Chad congratulations. His second book is out. Here it is, friends. And what an important topic, Chad. Empowering teachers, growing your leaders. Home run. Tell me about this project here. Here it is, friends. The link is in the show notes. It's on Amazon. It's on the Solution Tree website, but check it out. Tell me about this project, Chad.
Yeah. So many times my own experience and the experience that I get to work with lots of leaders is, so we have teams of teachers throughout our school, and we identify someone who either is really good in the classroom as an exceptional teacher, or they're really well respected by their colleagues. And we say to them, hey, will you be the leader of this team? We call them a facilitator or a liaison or a department head or a grade level coordinator, all kinds of terms for it. And we say, wonderful, now go be effective. Yeah, and hope for the best. And if we don't hear about any problems, then we assume it's going well. So what I wanted to do was provide some clarity about what is the role of a teacher team leader, first of all. What are key responsibilities, some assumptions and mindsets, like who you are as a person, and then what are some skills, the actions that you take to be able to effectively meet the role responsibilities and those assumptions and mindsets. And so that's what the book does, is it clarifies. It's in two parts. The first part is who you are as a person, and the second part is what you do as a leader, your being and your doing.
With a great forward from our friend Ken Williams. I got autographed copy here. Chad, there is so much in here. There's so many resources. Literally, as the team leader, you can open it and just kind of follow it and lead your team with the resources. How did you organize? I'm going to put this here. Yes, this fits here. How did you do that with it? There's a ton of great resources. I highly recommend it for your teams. But how did you organize it?
Yeah, it was multiple iterations. Because when I started out, my thought was, this is going to be a book about the moves, techniques, and strategies, and simply a listing of those. And then with feedback from the editorial team at Solution Tree and my specific editor, then it morphed over time. Part of Solution Tree's process is to send the manuscript out to reader reviewers, a blind review, so they don't know who you are and you don't know who they are. And then they give you feedback.
Okay.
And one of the pieces of feedback from them was start with who you are and then move to what you do. And so that really then helped to clarify, okay, this is going to be in two parts. And so just iterations, lots of writing from 30,000 feet up, in the airplane as I'm going places and in lounges and hotels, and Panera Bread. I spend a lot of time at Panera Bread when I'm on the road. And just iterations, trying to make sure, like, it's called the handbook, right? Teacher Team Leader Handbook. So I wanted it to be something that was actually useful, what you're going to do in order to be effective. And then the subtitle, Simple Habits. And I love where we landed on with that title, because really nothing in here is earth-shattering. Very little of it is new. What I've done is taken the work of a whole heck of a lot of other people and compiled it and organized it in such a way that it is user-friendly and helpful.
It is, right? And look, it's got these charts here. It literally is a workbook, but also something you could read. And Chad, you feel, now I've met you, we've had a conversation, right? I know your voice, I know your face, but it feels like you're sharing this with me. I can hear your voice as you write it. Now that we've explored these moves and techniques, I don't know, it's written, like you said, in a user-friendly way. A shout out to Dr. Larry Dake watching, Chad. He's a superintendent from New York, Binghamton area, and multiple author as well. So Larry, thanks for tuning in. Chad, a lot of people I interview, a lot of educators want to write books, and they debate self-publishing and what should I write, they organize it. And then, do I go with a publisher or do I self-publish? Who wins that arm wrestle of, well, I'd like it to be, teal and beige. I want it to be yellow and purple. I want the title to be this. Are they telling you what to do? Or are you telling them what to do when you work with a great company like Solution Tree? Who wins that arm wrestle?
Yeah. Well, Solution Tree, first of all, props. I mean, amazing company all around. And the publication team is very much a collaborative process. And at the end of the day, they would remind me, they would say, so we're giving you feedback and ideas and thoughts. At the end of the day, you're the author. You're the one who has to be happy with what comes out. So you get to make those final decisions. But it was very much collaborative. Like, so you mentioned like the colors and the photo, the images on the front. Solution Tree's design team sent us, I'm going to say us because it was my wife and I, we were partners in this business, like 9 different options. Whoa. And we then took those, literally printed them out on hard copy, because there were 2 in particular that we really had elements of each that we liked. And we literally cut out the parts that we liked and pasted them together and put them then on a clean sheet of paper and sent it back and said, what about this? And then they took that and then sent it back. And so it was an iteration of 4 or 5 until we landed on this front cover. Is when I start trainings on this book, here's how I started. We know that a picture's worth 1,000 words, and this cover has at least 1,000 words embedded within it. And so what the word balance, almost everybody comes to. In addition to balance, what other words and phrases come to mind about that front cover? You'd be blown away. I've done that. I've done actual trainings on this book, I think 4 times, using something along those lines. Every time, there are some consistent themes, but there are new things that come out. And so, like, if people have the book, or if you just see the front cover, just take a minute, like, think about what images come to mind, and that will lead you to where this book is going to take you.
Yeah. Well done, Chad. Even the title, the way the title jumps out,
yep.
With those big bold letters. Well, I'm going to throw you a curveball. You put the word balance in there. This was not on the question list, but one of my props. And I do that, Chad. I do that with this prop. I said, what do you think of when you do this? So it's early on a Saturday morning. The school year just ended here in the Northeast. I got a little balance bird here. What comes to mind when you think of this, Chad, when you see this here?
So I think about flexibility and movement.
Mm-hmm.
I think about skill, focus, intentionality. I'm thinking about you're not balancing it on 3 or 4 points. You're balancing it on 1 point. Yeah, those are some of the things my initial thoughts.
I like it. And I, always write on the bottom, about surviving and thriving. And I like the word harmony. We use the word balance as educators, but I like harmony. I want to find harmony in the work I'm doing and find harmony with our educators. So that's just a prop I use. But Chad, back to the work you're doing, right? You're visiting schools, you're visiting different communities. When you go in, are you like digging down their website, breaking down their school data? Do you like have to do a bunch of homework before you go in and work with a district? Or is there a learning them about you and you about them? How much pre-work do you have to do when you go work with a school district on their team setup, on their improving the work they're doing? How much background work do you have to do?
Yeah, pretty much. I use the similar process for all schools, and that is I'll go look at their website and get an idea of if it's a district, how many schools, and what the organization's like, how long has the superintendent been there, that type of thing. And then I'll always have a pre-call, anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months before. And if it's 6 months, we're going to do another one when we get closer.
Yeah, sure.
Typically for an hour with the school leaders. And I've got a script that I follow. I mean, it's not a script, but it's like these are the same questions that I ask to make sure that I get the information I need going in. And then if we need to do multiple calls, like there's been some districts where I left that meeting and started figuring things out, and then it's like, yeah, let's touch base again if you don't mind, right? Because the biggest thing about that meeting is for me to leave there knowing what do they want to accomplish, what are their outcomes.
Yes.
Because that's the first thing. What are the outcomes? Then I can design an agenda. Then I can design the activities and the PowerPoint that goes with it. And then I can design the materials, the handouts. And so that's the process I use. And so I got to know what you want. And that's where it all starts.
Yeah, it's so important to listen and really hear their needs and get a feel of what's going on. Chad, there generally is a negative outlook, like, professional development. It's something I got to do, especially now, summer, right? Teachers are going in for trainings. They're doing workshops, with excellent presenters like yourself. How do we change the mindset of professional development from something we have to do, or it's something teachers have to do, versus something they want to do, they get to do? How do we shift that mindset?
Yeah, that's when you get that answer, would you let me know? A few techniques I use I don't know if it's shifting the mindset, but it's shifting the energy in the room anyway. And that is, I get there early enough to set up the room so it's ready to go. So when people arrive, then I can spend my energy going around getting to meet people and physically shaking hands. And if I can get to every person in the room, brilliant. Sometimes it's too many people or it's not enough time, at least to every table. But ideally to every person, introduce myself, get their name, and find out a little bit about their role in their work. So that's the first thing, is starting to develop a little bit of relationship. And then the second thing I do is I don't waste their time at the beginning. You're not going to hear me say, "Good morning, my name is Chad, I'm from Iowa, blah, 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 blah. Bathrooms are over here, lunch is," like, we're going to do that in about 30 or 40 minutes. I don't tell them we're going to do it, but we're starting right away. And I start with, I love the work. I mentioned Kendall Zoller earlier. He's a nonverbal communication presentation expert, incredible work. And he talks about starting with an impact statement. So in your preparation, what do you as the leader, what do I as the facilitator of the session, what do I want people to think, feel, say, and do? Those 4 things: think, feel, say, and do. And either write it down or at least have that in mind. And then based on what you want them to think, feel, say, and do, then you craft that impact statement. So as I mentioned with the Teacher Team Leader Handbook, my impact statement for those trainings has been, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. Right? And then we get into, and so when I receive this image, blah, 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 right? We're going, like, those are literally the first words out of my mouth. You've heard the expression that a picture is worth 1,000 words. We're going. Now that you're going to turn to a person next to you and have that conversation. That's the other thing is I learned this from Kendall Zoller. Within the first 5 minutes, everybody's going to talk. So we're going to get everybody turning to each other and talking about what does that image come to mind? First 5 minutes. So that way people know that this is not your quote unquote typical PD where you're going to sit and I'm going to lecture for 4 days. We're bringing you into this space because learning is co-created. It's not something that opened the head and poured in.
I love that. Learning is co-created. You had a nice quote, when I was getting ready for the show here from Kendall speaking about your work there. But those are great tips, Chad. That really is a great tip. And using the cover of the book about what we're about to dive into.
Yep.
Really great tips. Shout out to Matt Hodge watching from Alabama, retired school administrator, and now starting to present, Chad. So that's helpful for him.
Awesome.
Again, Chad, the way you do it, the warmth, the humor, you could just feel it. So good for you there. Where do you head next? Where's your next training? Where are you going, next week?
So, it's 4th of July season. So it's quiet for me for the next 2 weeks. And then,
Nice.
So that's kind of rare to have a chunk of time home. So it's kind of nice. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do for those 2 weeks. Maybe I've got another book in the pike with a colleague, and so probably do a lot of writing and such there. And my wife and I might take a couple of day trips. But the next gig is in Arkansas, middle of July, a couple of days. A new district never worked with, and then South Carolina, and then the whole pre-year kicks off where I think 1 week I'm going to be in 5 different districts in 5 different states during the course of that week. It's here we go.
He's a traveler. I love following you, Chad, and seeing on the plane. And sometimes you share about the food, sometimes you share about the environment. Some funny things you push there. So, as a Midwesterner, is it hard for you to adjust? Like Arkansas in July, I mean, that's hot. You're a Midwesterner. You're used to 55 is warm. Is that hard to adjust to some of those places for you, or does it come easy for you?
It isn't hard. The temperature isn't hard at all. What's harder for me is like going to California time zone. Yeah. So I don't switch my body. I'll go to bed by 8 p.m. and get up around 4 or so in the morning, and so that has helped it. But the temperature, I don't know, for some reason I enjoy the warmth. And most of the time you're in air conditioning anyway. So by the end of the day, I'm cold. So I walk outside and I go, I didn't realize how cold I was.
I love wearing some school swag, right? When they give you some of that nice school swag and you're carrying the banner for their schools. I love it. Chad, you're also a foodie. I love sharing that with you as well. I'm a foodie. I love to try different foods, different areas. And again, you post about that. I like that. So
I do.
Will you cook at home? Are you the chef? Talk to me about your love of food, but also being mindful of what you're eating. I heard you mention Panera Bread. I'm a fan. I know that menu. I know the calorie count. Are you the chef, and how do you enjoy the food, but also maintain your health? Because I know that's important to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm blessed. My wife makes amazing food. And so when I'm home, mostly she makes really good food. We're going to get our first cucumber out of the garden today. So I'm excited about that. And first grape tomato. So really excited about that. But the way I really monitor my weight, if you will, and what I eat is many times on the traveling days, I'll fast. So I might eat one meal during the course of those days, and that seems to help. And then I make sure that I'm having a good amount of roughage as part of that, right? So fruits, and you asked about the morning coffee. I don't do morning coffee, but I do fruit, and I'll have 3 or 4 servings of fruit over the course of the morning, typically.
Nice. So, but when you're traveling, do you feel weak then when you fast? How do you maintain your energy level then?
Yeah, I don't. That's that's a thing people think when you fast, and I don't know if because I do it frequently enough that if I only did it once every few months that maybe I would have a decrease in energy, but I don't notice that decrease of energy.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Well, I turned 50 here this year. My wife just turned 50, so we've gone through the process of that thing you do when you turn 50. So I recently fasted, and I did notice some of the benefits of
Mhm.
that. And I think that's something I might try to introduce as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friends, if you're watching live, jump in the show, say hello. This is Dr. Chad Dumas, an excellent presenter. If you're looking someone for your district, if you're looking for that project to empower your teachers, check out his latest book, his second book, and he's already working on his third. I love it. He's got a lot to offer. Chad, all leaders are readers. I believe that, and I want to model that myself. What are you currently reading? And even if it's for enjoyment, not a leadership book, what are you
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, let's see. My name is hiding it, but I've got a stack here actually. That this is my stack I'm working
reading?
on.
Yes. Okay.
The one I'm actually it's not even in this stack because I had it in my backpack for traveling. But the one that I'm really focused on right now is Celebrate to Motivate. And it's a couple of Solution Tree authors, a couple of friends and colleagues, and I love it because in schools we have informal celebrations or recognitions, but we're not necessarily intentional about it. And it is just packed with ideas of how to celebrate students, how to celebrate staff, how to celebrate the community. Many of them are probably things that people are like, oh yeah, we kind of do that. And now you could up the ante and really make it intentional and powerful in moving the school forward. So Celebrate to Motivate. And they have if you don't have the book, they have a Facebook page. If you just, or group, I think. And if you just like Google Celebrate to Motivate, or, in the Facebook search for that, you have to request permission. Just say Chad sent you, or education leadership and beyond sent you, and get all kinds of great ideas. It's amazing what schools do, and just learning from others about how they celebrate each other is really cool.
Yeah, and then you could take those and you make them your own. You bring them into
Exactly.
your schools, and
Yep.
they share resources, and you do that in here. You give away a bunch of free resources, even just on the Solution Tree website, that you could download the items, and there's so many free resources you do. So kudos to you for doing that.
Absolutely. And in addition, so the Solution Tree website has them all as PDFs. On my website, I have them all as Google Docs. So if people want to access them there, then they can get them all as Google Docs. And there's even more, but it's about 50 resources that are all available for folks.
I love it. I love it there, Chad. Chad, are you a one book reader? I'm reading this, or do you bounce around? You have one on your nightstand, you have one in your bag. How do you consume and absorb those books?
I try to be a one book reader when I travel, because for lightness sake, I don't want to carry several with me in my backpack, so I'll just take one at a time. But then I'll have another one that I really need to read for some project that I'm working on, and so that one will go aside, and another one will come up. So it's a one book reader if it were an ideal world, but there ends up being multiple that I'm partway through.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. All right, we talked coffee. I struck out there, but I know this is something that you are big, literally the Big Ten there. Nebraska. He's a Nebraska fan, grew up in Nebraska. The Big Ten, I mean, you're stretching from Rutgers to now California. How do you feel about the expansion of the Big Ten? Did it enhance your love for Nebraska? Were you disappointed to get out of that tight Midwest group you had? What are your thoughts with the Big Ten and Nebraska and all of that?
As long as we can win, it doesn't matter to me. So, just bring it on. Let's win. Let's get back to some good old days of 10-win seasons.
You mean you had it right? I mean, the Tom Osborne is on the stadium. I mean, you had back-to-back national championships, right?
Yeah. And I was a student at the university at that time, and played in the marching band. Went to the national championship game. So yeah, it's no big
It had
deal.
to be connected. It had to be connected to you. I mean, the energy you're bringing. I mean, no, it's no coincidence that you ain't there anymore and they haven't won. I mean,
Well, I haven't thought about that, but maybe I should go back there.
Might have to reach out to the athletic department. I mean, obviously those rivalry games, especially Iowa, you're right there. But do you enjoy now, like, Oregon? I mean, who's in there? Like, do you enjoy some of those non-rivalries that you're in different parts of the country now?
Yeah, the rivalry. So I grew up in the Oklahoma era, right? Nebraska, Oklahoma. So I don't know if anything can rise to that. Colorado, Nebraska, I don't know if Nebraskans made a very big deal of it, but anyway, that kind of became a little bit rivalry. Nebraska, Iowa has become a little bit more, but when you compare any of that to Nebraska, Oklahoma, there's no comparison, right?
It's on.
Yeah.
If you've never been out there, Chad and I were talking off air. I mean, it's flat, right? I'm from the east where there's mountains. It's flat, and then you just see this. It looks like a mountain. You see this structure. You're like, what the? And you're getting closer, and it looks like this. And it's the stadium. It's this massive thing, and it's just, oh my God! What a facility, and what a culture there. So I love it. It's great. It's good stuff. Yeah. And your boys are big fans now as well?
Oh man, yes. I probably should have been turned into Child Protective Services, raising them in the last 25 years as Husker fans. But
you're wearing this red shirt.
Yeah, they have never seen a good Nebraska team, and that's disappointing. Well, there were some okay teams, but
sure, okay, yeah.
We're on our way back. We got Matt Rule. Here we go.
Are you Saturdays? Like, is the house getting decked out? Are the boys coming over? Is it, Solution Tree, move aside? I'm here for the next 3 hours. Or you have the game on and you're doing other stuff? Are you like paint your face, all that kind of stuff?
Well, probably somewhere in between. It's not a paint your face, decorate everything, but it is. We're going to make sure what time the game is on, and everything else is going to go around that. Nice. And we're not going to interrupt those 3.5 hours. Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Awesome. The Big Ten. I mean, football is just it's incredible. Incredible there. Well, enjoy it and be here before you know it. I mean, I'm sure that
I think it's about 80 days or so till kickoff.
But who's counting?
But who's counting?
Chad, anything else you wanted to share? You're a lot of fun to talk to, and I really enjoy our connection. Anything else you wanted to share?
What I would share is, for folks who are listening, if this is your first time listening and you don't subscribe to the Education, Leadership, and Beyond weekly newsletter, do. It is. I have quite a few different newsletters that come to me, and as most people, your email gets full, and there's certain ones that's like, okay, I can't deal with that now. I'm just going to delete it. But this one from Andrew, this is one I open every time. He's got nuggets and wisdom, stories, connections that always make you go, and really. So that's what I would want to share is, if you're not connected, get connected to Andrew.
I love it. Thank you, Chad. We had Richard Ramos from Arizona write recently, a guest writer. So I'm gonna challenge you, Chad. I'm gonna throw the challenge coin out there. I'd love to have you join us for a guest blog, and I see your blogs on there. But whether it's something from the book, whether it's something from your personal life, you got 2 weeks here, maybe something will pop in, but I'd invite you to share, because you're an excellent writer. You have a lot to offer. And I love having guests join us on there. So
thank you. I'll make a note of that. We'll do that.
Cool. Let's do it. All right. Rapid fire here. We got someone coming to the house for coffee. My daughter's college roommate is visiting. We haven't met her yet, so we're excited. And we're going to have coffee here. So rapid fire, Chad, this is the 2-minute warning. Nebraska is on the 15-yard line, and it's second down. We're going to try to get in. You ready?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Last movie you saw.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Yes?
Yeah, I go to a lot of movies. I go to 25
Okay.
or 30 movies a year. And so
Oh, you
actually,
do?
yeah.
Because we
It
grew
was
up with the show. My kids love the show.
See, that's the thing is it's the same as the cartoon. So,
Got it.
which I don't know why I was expecting it to be so much greater, but I love a good movie. I love popcorn and soda and just chillax in the theater in the afternoon.
The last concert you went to?
I think it was probably Eddie Rabbit back in the 80s.
Okay. Last song you sang out loud in the car?
She said yes.
Hmm.
I'm a country music fan. I think or yes, or something like that.
Foodie, man. No pressure here. Favorite dish?
Baby, it's ribs all day long. Barbecue ribs.
Is that is that a Saturday Nebraska football? Are you ribs it? Are you
You know, my ribs always dry out, so it's got to be ribs from some barbecue joint. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to Arkansas and South Carolina? You're going to be doing well.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to that.
I love when you hold the picture of the bone up and you give your review. In 2025, I have fill in the blank.
In 2025, I have
Released your second book.
released my second book. Been really happy.
I like that.
Thank you. Yeah.
You could tell. In 2025, I have stopped.
I have stopped worrying about what I can't control.
Mm.
I've tried to stop worrying about what I can't control.
As a recovering school leader.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What's a pet peeve of yours, Chad?
Wasting people's time.
You shared that in the start of your presentations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chad, we're going to have a whole group of new teachers starting, young educators, people who've left and joined being educated, brand new this August and September. Best new teacher advice.
Get really clear about what you want kids to learn and go after it.
Yeah, and again, you said that with your presentations, right? Being clear. Here's what we're going to do. Learning from the district. Good. He's modeling what he shared. I love it. Nebraska football is fill in the blank.
Up and coming.
He's been saying that for a few years now. Revisit that learning target. Something about Chad Dumas that people do not know about.
So probably people who get to know me well know that I'm a member of the Baha'i faith working towards the unity of humankind. But if people don't know me well, they probably don't know that.
Good for you. He's doing it in the faith-based world as well as the education world. You're bringing people together.
Yes, sir.
Chad, give us a quote to bring us home.
So, quote. This is a quote from the Baha'i faith, and so the quote is, "Noble have I created thee, wherefore dost thou abase thyself? Rise then to that for which you were created."
Give me that one more time. That sounded so beautiful. One more time.
Noble have I created thee, wherefore dost thou abase thyself? Rise then to that for which you were created. Isn't that something? Yeah.
Dr. Chad Dumas, friends, check him out. Just Google him. He's Solution Tree, his own website, as well as his newest book out. Good luck in your travels, Chad. Be safe, and thank you for the work you're doing. Thanks for the energy you're bringing. A lot of people maybe, kind of chilling out in their retirement. You are giving, you're sharing, you're growing, and making people smile and revitalizing education. So we appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, friends. Let's get rolling on a Saturday. This was Chad Dumas. Check him out. His website is in the show notes. Chad, thanks, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Friends, keep surviving and thriving, and life is no brief candle. It's a splendid torch. Let's make it burn brightly. Have a great weekend, everybody.